Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper May-June of 2015 of the IGCSE paper of paper 2-3. Okay, that is paper 2 of course. So now let's move on to question number 1. So let's see what do we have for this one. So we have to write down the log to the base of 27x as a log to the base of 3. Now to solve this we have to use the principles. So basically, let's say we have log of b to a. We have to convert this to log to the base of c, for example. So you have to write log to the base of c, the first value, over log to the base of c and this value. So same way here, if you want to write this to the log to the base of 3, for the same steps, you write down log to the base of 3, the first value is x, divide by log to the base of 3 and take this value, right? 27. Now you realize that we can also simplify this because 27 is what? 27 is equal to 3 power 3. Now we can replace this here. You will get log of base of 3 power 3. So whenever you have a power in terms of in a logarithm, you can always send this power to the beginning. So you will have 3 log base of 3 3. Now log base of 3 is equal to 1. So you have to know that log to the base of, let's say, a, if it is a also here, it will become 1 always. So here you become 3 times 1, it should be 3. So answer will be log base of 3x over 3, and that is your answer for part A. Now part B, given that we have this equation, we have to express y in terms of a. So this one seems kind of complicated, but we always have to proceed step by step, right? Now this one, as you can see here, so as you can see, we have log. Let's say we have to the base of a, we have b, minus log to the base of a, c. So in terms of logarithm, we can use a principle here. Because we have minus, and we have the log to the same base, we can combine that together. It will become log base of a. Here we have b. Minus will become divide by c. So same steps here, you will have log to the base of a. Then we have 15. And the minus will be divide by 3. Okay? So that will be simplified to this. So let's write this down. So right now this is the same. Log a y is equal to 3 times log to the base of a. Now we can simplify this. That will be 5. So you have 5 plus 1. Now, if you do observe this, what is 1? 1 is, as you can see, it is log a to a. So here it is log, since we have a base of a to a. So replace this one back in here. You will have, so replace this by log to the base of a in a. So the reason why it's a here is because here we have base of a. That's why. Let's say we had log to the base of 6 here. So 1 will be equal to log of base of 6. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So here we have a, so 1 is log to the base of a to a. So now we can combine them together. We have log a y is equal to, so whenever you have a number here, we can send this to the power here. Becomes log base of a 5 power 3 plus log a. So now you see that every term has the same log with the same base. So we can definitely combine these two together. So what is 5 power 3? It is 125. You can check with your calculator. 5 power 3 should be 125. So here you have log of a y is equal to log of a 125 plus log of a to a. So now, going back to the same principle here, whenever you see plus, we have the same base. Plus means you can multiply, bring them together. So you will have log a 125 plus becomes multiply by a. That is your right hand side, and your left hand side is log a y. Now, since we have log a on both sides, you can see we can cancel them out. So your answer will be y is equal to 125a. Okay, express y in terms of a, so y is equal to 125a. And that was question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. So here we have the diagram shows the graph of y equal to modulus of fx. So that's a graph shown on this diagram. Now, passing through the point 0, 4 and 2, 0. Okay, given the graph of y is a straight line. Okay, so we know that this is a straight line. So what is the equation of a straight line? As you guys must know by now, a straight line always looks like y is equal to mx plus c, right? That is the equation of a straight line. Now write down the two possible expression for f of x. So by this graph you can see this part is a straight line and this part is a straight line. So we have two possible options for that straight line. One will be this and one will be this. So first let's begin with this one. We have a point here, we have another point here. So let's use those 2 points. We first find the gradient, which is y2 minus y1 should be minus 4 over 2. That is minus half. Now using this and using a point of 2, 0, we can find the equation of that line, of this line. So you will have y over x minus 2 equal to minus half. Now we cross multiply, you will have y, so 2y is equal to 2 minus x. Now simplify, y is equal to 2 divided by 2, which is 1 minus half x. So your first equation of f of x, which is y, it is 1 minus half x. That is this part. Right, let's write this down. So this one here is f of x or y is equal to 1 equal to half x. Now for this one, to find this one pretty easy, we just have to do this. So let's say the other one will be, so you have to do f of x, you have to apply minus in front to get the other one. That will be half x minus 1. So here you go, you got 2, one is this and one is this. This one will be on this side, which is f of x can be half x minus 1. So two possible values for f of x, this and this. Okay. Now for part B, on the axis below, sketch the graph of y is equal to this plus 3. Now, stating the coordinates of any point of intersection with the axis. So we have to first find where does this curve cut the axis. So let's do one by one. So let me do this here. We have some space. Let me do this here, right? So you'd say at y-axis, as you know, the value of x is 0. Now let's find the value of y. Y will be e power 0 plus 3. That will be 4. So the point will be 0, 4. So let's make a mark here. We can just sketch that. It says sketch, so it doesn't need to be exact. So let's find the point 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. For example, right? So here I have 4. So your graph goes through this point on the y-axis. Now let's see. At x-axis, you know that the value of y is 0. So you would say 0 is equal to e minus x plus 3, which is equal to e of minus x equal to minus 3, and then minus x equal to ln of minus 3. Now log cannot be negative, the inside of value cannot be negative, so this will not be possible. Not possible, not valid. So what does it mean? It means that your curve here, it never touches the x-axis. That's what it means, okay? Now the next step is, how would you draw this graph, right? So if you guys know something about this graph right here, let me make a small drawing. So let me do this here. So what is the graph for this graph? Y equal to e of x. For example, let's say we have your y, your x, you would say the graph will go here and keep going on, right? This is your graph of e of x, and it cuts the curve, the y-axis at 1, at the point 1, and it never touches the x-axis, right? Now, what is the graph of y equal to e minus x? So pretty easy. It will be just a reflection in the y-axis. So it will become like this, right? And it never touches the x-axis. This one will be e of minus x. Now, using this shape, we have to draw this graph. Plus 3. So what does plus 3 mean? It means that we have to move the graph up by 3 units, right? So it cuts at 1. That's why it cuts at 4 now. So you knew, instead of trying to go to the point 0, we have to have a new asymptote, which is this line. This is the line y equal to 3. So that is your new asymptote, as you can see, according to the graph. Okay, so it will be, let me just draw this in this way. So it will be, this is going up. Okay, so it never touches this line. This is your line, y equal to 3. This is the asymptote of this graph. Always label your graph y is equal to e minus x plus 3. Okay, that is your answer for part B. So now let's say you don't know how to draw this graph, right? So what you can do is, if you really don't know, is the first step is always to find this. Let's see where it cuts your axis. That's the first step. Now, if you don't know what you can do, you make a table. Make a table of x and a table of y. You would start from, let's say you start from minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And find the corresponding values of y to see what happens. So for example, you would say, okay, exponential minus 2 will be power 2 plus 3. That should be 10.4. Exponential plus 3, that will be 5.72. That is 4. Exponential minus 1 plus 3, 3.37. Now minus 2 will be 3.14, and we have 3, should be 3.0 something. As you can see, the graph here, it starts from top, so when x is negative, it is a really high value, right? And when x becomes positive, it approaches the value of 3. As you can see, high value, and it cuts your y-axis at the point 4. This you can know exactly. High, it goes down, it keeps decreasing, but it does not cross the number 3, always above 3. So that's how you can also draw this graph. That is one of the ways. If you really don't know, you can always make a table and find the corresponding value of y. And that will be your question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. So here we have matrix A such that we have this equation. So we have to find the matrix A. Pretty easy. We have to make A the subject of formula. That will be 5, 2, minus 8, 19, 31, 2, and 65. Minus this one. 5 times 4 is 20, 0 minus 5, 15 minus 10, and 25. So what does that equal to? 52 minus 20, that should be 32. Minus 8 minus 0 should be minus 8. 19 minus 5, that should be 24. 31 minus 15, that should be 16. That should be 12. And 65 minus 25 should be 40. Well, you can always use your calculator. So if you're not sure, you can always use that, of course. Now A should be given to you by, you have to divide by 4. You'll have 8 minus 1, 3, 4, 3. Sorry, divide by 4, that should be 6. And this one should be 3, this one should be 10. Okay, so that will be your matrix A. That's the first part. Now for part B, the matrix P represents the number of 4 different televisions that are on sale in each of 3 shops. As you observe, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this is shop 1, shop 2, and shop 3. And this is television 1, television 2, 3, and 4. 4 types of television which are on sale in shop 1, shop 2, shop 3. Now, the matrix Q represents the value of each television in dollars. This is the value of television 1, value of 2, value of 3, and value of 4. Okay? Now, part 1. State without evaluation, okay, what is represented by the matrix QP. So by multiplying Q to P, what does that represent? So whenever it says that, you don't need to actually listen to this. You can always find a piece of paper on the side and evaluate to see what happens, right? So if you want to multiply Q by P, Q is a what? Q is a, so it is, what is the dimension of this matrix? You would say it is a 1 by 4. 1 by 4 matrix. Multiply by, this one is a 4 by 3 matrix. So yeah, your answer will be a 1 by 3 matrix. So 1 by 3 matrix looks like this. You'll have a value here. Let's call it x, x1, x2, and x3. So what will those values represent? So if you were to solve this, you can do it on the side. You will see that it will give you the value of televisions of all televisions in each shop. So basically this one is what you would say, this is the total value of televisions in shop 1. This is in shop 2 and shop 3. Okay, so you don't need to show that, you just need to give this line for your answer. Okay, now for part 2, given that we have R equal to this one, without evaluation, what is represented by this matrix? As you can see, we know QP is equal to a 1 by 3 matrix, right? 1 by 3 matrix. Now R is what? Is a 3 by 1 matrix. If you were to multiply those two, you will have a 1 by 1 matrix, which means you will have only one value here. So what is this value going to give you? So obviously by doing this, you're adding all the values together, basically represents the total value of televisions in all three shops. Okay, that will be for 1 mark and 1 mark. Okay, that is your question number 3. Now let's move on to question number 4. So in the question, this is a region that has been shaded. Okay, so let's do this here. Okay, so now what is the question here? So it says the diagram shows a circle center O, radius 8, so this is also 8. The points P and Q lie on the circle. The lines PT and QT are tangents to the circle. Angle POQ is given by this. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that if these two lines are tangent to the circle, the first thing is this has to be 90 and this has to be 90. Now, also, let's use a different color. This is the same length as this. Okay, same and same, right? Which means if you were to join the point O to your point T, it will be a line of symmetry for that shape. So this is the line of symmetry for that shape. It will be two triangles joined together, as you can see, a right angle triangle. Okay, now if you observe this, if this big angle is 3 pi over 4, what is this one angle? You would say divide by 2 because they are the same, right? So this angle here will be 3 pi by 8, and this is also the same. Okay, so first question is find the length of PT. So where is PT? PT is this length. Now you observe, if you look at this diagram, you have a triangle here. PTO is a right angle triangle. Now whenever you have a right angle triangle, you can use SOHCAHTOA, right? SOHCAHTOA. 4. Now you have this side, which is given to you by 8, which is your A side, your adjacent side, and we're trying to find this side, which is your opposite side, so you have to use tan. So tan of the angle 3 pi by 8 is equal to the opposite side, which is PT over 8. From this, PT is equal to 8 tan 3 pi over 8. So we have to use radians here. So 8 tan 3 pi over 8. That should be 19.3. Correct your 3SF for your answer. That should be PT. That is part 1. Now next one is to find the area of the region. Now we have to find this area here. As you can see, we can break this down into 2 parts. This one and this one. So we first have to find this one. Let's call this one area of A. Okay, so how would you find area of A? Well, if you observe, we can find A by first finding the area of the triangle and then minus the area of the sector, right? So let's do that. Area of triangle PTO. So this one is a right angle triangle. You can just use half times base times height. So half base is 8, height is 19.3. So let's see. So half times base time, that should be 77.25. That will be, let's write this down correct to 4 decimal place. Because this is not your final answer, you have to make it as accurate as possible. Okay. Now next step is we have to find the area of sector, because we have to minus that area. Area of sector PO, let's call this line, this one is call it POM. POM, that will be half r square theta. That is the formula for area of sector. So let's write this down. Half r square is radius square, and the angle is 3 pi over 8. So let's see, what do we have? Half times 8 square times 3 pi over 8. That should be 36.6, sorry, 37.6991. So from this we can find the area of A. So basically A is only this area, the top one. Okay, now A is equal to, this is number 1, number 2, so A is 1 minus 2. So 77.2548 minus answer, that should be 39.5557. Now this is only the area of A, but we are trying to find this whole area right here. The area that we need is 2 times A, because these two are the same, right? So here you go. Last step is shaded area is 2 times 5557. So times 2, that should be 79.111. So I think I may have made a mistake here. Let me double check that. Okay, so half times 8 times 19.3. That should be 77.2. That seems to be okay, actually. So let me see if I did anything wrong. It seems to be fine. And how about this one? Half times 64 times 3 pi over 8. 37.699, good. And that is 1 minus 2 times 2. Okay, that should be your answer then. Confirm. Correct your 3SF. Your area will be this 1 centimeter square. Okay, that is part 2. Now part 3 is find the perimeter of the region. So perimeter means the distance around. So it will be this, this, then this. So we know this is given to you by 19.3 because these two are the same, right? So we have to find the length of arc PQ. How do you find length of arc PQ? We have to use your formula, which is r times theta. R is your radius and theta is the angle. Angle will be the big one now because we need the whole length. So theta will be 3 pi over 4. That will be 6 pi. Okay, so the perimeter is given by 19.3 plus 19.3 plus 6 pi. That should be 57.4. Okay, so your area, your perimeter, correct to 3SF, 57.4 centimeters. Okay, that is your part 3 of question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5. A lock can be opened using only the numbers 4351. State whether this is a permutation or a combination of digits. So as you guys know, if you open, let's say you have a phone. If you want to open your phone, you have to use a code, right? And the code, you have to press it exactly in an order. So whenever that happens, we have to press 4 first, 3, 5, and 1, right? So whenever, so this is just to explain to you, whenever order is important, it has to be a permutation. Okay, that is the only difference between permutation and combination. Whenever order is important, it is a permutation. Whenever order is not important, it is a combination. So first one is a permutation. Now part B, there are 20 numbered balls, so we have 20 balls. 2 of the balls are numbered from number 0, so 2 of the balls are 0. 6 of the balls are 1. 5 of the balls are 2. 7 are 3. So we have 20 balls in total. Okay. Now part 1 is we have 4 of these balls are chosen, so we choose 4 balls. Okay, without replacement. Calculate the number of ways this can be done if the 4 balls all have the same number. Okay, so as you can see, the 4 balls can have, so because we only have 2 0 balls, so 0 would not be a possible option. How about 1? You can see it can be 1, 1, 1, 1 because we have 6 balls, or it can be 2, 2, 2, 2, and finally it can be 3, 3, 3, and 3. So we have this combination. So first option is all the balls are 1. So from 6 we choose the 4 balls. O is plus. From 5 we choose 4. Plus. From 7 we choose 4. That should give you 55. Okay, that is the first part. Now this one is the 4 balls all have different numbers, so it can be 0, 1, 2, or 3. Right, pretty easy. So from the first 2 balls you have to choose 1, and from the number 2 you have to choose 1. So 6 choose 1 times, 5 choose 1 times, 7 choose 1. So 2 times 6 times 5 times 7, that should be 420. Okay, that is your answer for part 2. Now finally, part 3, the 4 balls must have numbers that total 3. So let's see what are the possible options, right? How can you have a total of 3? So you can have, so one option is you can have 1 ball of 0, and then the next one has to be 3 balls of 1. So the sum becomes 3. And next one, what can we have? We can have, let's say we have 0, then we have 0 again, we have 2 and 1. That will be 3 as well. So we only have these 2 options. So for the first one, we have a 1 ball of 0. So from 2 balls, we choose 1 times. From the 6 balls, we choose 3. So that'll be 2 times 6 choose 3. That will be 40. This is the first one. And for this one, from the 2 balls of 0, we choose 2. And from the number 2, we have 5 balls, we choose 1 times. 1, we have 6, we choose 1. Let's see, how much do we have? 2 choose 2 times 5 choose 1 times 6 choose 1. That will be 30. So in total, we have this plus this. That will be 70 number of ways of choosing that. So this is your answer for part 3. That was question number 5. Now let's move on to question number 6. A particle P is projected from the origin O so that it moves in a straight line. At time t seconds after the projection, the velocity v is given to you by this equation. That is good to know. Now part 1, it says that find the time at which P first come to rest. So at rest, you have to know something. So whenever at rest, you would say at rest, the value of v has to be 0. So that is the main thing you guys need to know whenever you see this thing. Okay, at rest, v is 0. So let's solve this equation when v is 0. So we have v is 0 is equal to 2t squared minus 14t plus 12. So every number is even, we can divide by 2 everywhere. Divide by 2, you will have t squared minus 7t plus 6 equal to 0. Okay, now we have to factorize t. 6 is 6 times 1. For us to get minus 7, it has to be minus 6 minus 1. So value of t is 1 and the value of t is 6. So we have 2 times when it comes to rest, but we have to find when it first comes to rest. First is this one. So the answer is t is equal to 1 when it first comes to rest. That is part 1. Now part 2, find an expression for the displacement of P at t seconds. So we have to find displacement x in terms of t. So how do you find this displacement? As you guys must know by now, if you have a v given to you, x displacement is equal to integration of v with respect to dt. So let's do that. V is 2t squared minus 14t plus 12 dt. That is 2t, we have to add 1 to the power, divide by 3, minus 14t squared divided by power again, plus 12t and plus c as your constant of integration. Now we have to find the value of c. So to find the value of c, we have to use the fact that at time equal to 0, the value of x is always 0. That's the usual assumption that we need to have. Now let's replace 0. That will be 0 minus 0 plus 0 plus c. So here we have c is equal to 0. So finally, x is equal to 2 thirds t cubed minus 7t squared plus 12t. That is your value. That is your expression for the displacement in terms of t. Okay. Now for part 3, find the acceleration of p when time equal to 3. Now for you to find acceleration, you have to know that acceleration is equal to what? dv by dt. We know v is equal to 2t squared minus 14t plus 12. So dv by dt is equal to 4t minus 14, which is equal to your acceleration. So a is 4t minus 14. So now we have to find the value of a when t equal to 3. So when t is equal to 3, a is equal to 4 times 3 minus 14, that is minus 12. Sorry, plus 12 minus 14, that should be minus 2 meters per second square. That will be your answer for part 3. And that is your question number 6. Now let's move on to question number 7. So the 4 points O, A, B, C are such that we have been given all these points. Okay. Now show that B lies on AC. So first thing you have to understand how can we prove that? For example, let's say we have a line here. This is P. This is S. We have to show that T lies on PS. How would you show that? So one way to show this is we have to show that PT is a multiple of PS, where M is a constant that is between those two. So we can show this. For example, here, same thing. To show that B lies on AC, we have to show that AB is a multiple of so we have this line. So AC, so we have B here. AB is a multiple of AC. So AC, sorry. Okay, so we have to show that. So first thing we have to find is find these two. Find AB and find AC. So what is AC? AC is OC is minus 3. 24 minus OA is 5. 0. That should be minus 8, and that should be 24. That is AC. Now what is AB? AB is OA, which is this one. Sorry, OB. Sorry, it's OB minus OA. So OB is this one, 15. So 0, 15. Minus OA is 5, 0. That should be minus 5, 15. Okay. As you can see, on one side we have this one, AB. On one side we have this one. So we have this. So let's first factorize them. So AB can also be written as what? If you take out the minus 5, you will have 1 and 3. Now for AC, you take out the minus 8, you will have 1 and 3. Now if you observe, this inside is the same as this. So basically, as you can see, AB is equal to a multiple. What is the value of M here? If you solve, if you were to write this down, you can solve this. You will get 8 over 5 AC in that case. So I think it should be the other way around. So basically, by showing that this is the same on the inside, that will have to be true. Okay, showing this is shown as required. So we have shown that AB is a multiple of AC. By showing that, we have shown that B lies on the line AC. So by showing this, we show this. Okay, that is part 1. So basically, if when you show this is the same on the inside, it is enough to show that it is a multiple and B lies on AC. That will be part A. Now part B, relative to the point O, the position vector of P is this. So basically, OP has been given to you by 1 minus 4. That is OP. And the position vector of Q, which is OQ, is given by 3, 7. That is the OQ. So part 1 is we have to find the magnitude of PQ. So first we have to find PQ. So what is PQ? PQ is OQ, which is 3, 7, minus OP, 1 minus 4. So 3 minus 1 is 2. That will be 11. So PQ, the magnitude will be what? Use your formula, which is 2 square plus 11 square. That will be 4 plus 1, 21, should be root of 125. Okay, that will be your answer for the magnitude of PQ. Now for part 2, the unit vector in this direction. So how do you find the unit vector? E is equal to PQ divided by its magnitude. Okay, so we know PQ is given by this one, 2i plus 11j divided by its magnitude, 125. Okay, that is your answer for part 2. Now for part 3, the position vector of M, which is the midpoint of PQ. So now to do this one, you can have a drawing so you understand what it is looking for. So we know PQ, this is the point P, this is the point Q, for example, and we have a point O. Okay, so this joins to this. So we know this, and we know this. Now the point has been given to you here is the point M is right here, is the midpoint of PQ. We have to find the position vector of M, which is OM. So whenever you see that, it looks for OM. So let's join these two together. So how would you find OM? It will be in this direction, of course. So to find OM, you have to begin from O, you go to P, and P to M, right? So OM has to be OP plus PM. OP, as you know, it is given to you as 1 minus 4, pretty easy. And PM is only half of PQ. So half of PQ is this one, 211. That will be 1 plus 1 is 2, minus 4 plus, so what is half of 11? 11 divided by 2, minus 4 plus, that should be 1.5. So here you go, that should be OM. So now we have to write this down in terms of this form, which is 2i plus 1.5j. That will be OM as required. That will be your question number 7. Now let's move on to question number 8. So part 1 is to find the integration of this one. So you have to know how to integrate exponential. So just to explain, if you were to integrate 2x by dx, how would you do that? So the first thing is write down the same thing, exponential 2x dx. Next step is to divide by the differentiation of the power. So what is d by dx of 2x? It is 2. So you have to divide by 2. Okay, so same way here. Write down the same thing, 4x plus 3. Then divide by differentiation of this one, that should be 4. Then we have to say plus c for the constant of integration. Now part 2, hence evaluate. So hence means using this thing to solve this one. So pretty easy. Here we have the limits. We have 1 over 4. We can take this one outside. You have e 4x plus 3, and the limits has been given to you as 3 and 2.5. So whenever you have limits, the c goes away. Okay, so now we just have to solve one by one. That will be 4 times 3 is 12 plus 3, that should be 16, minus this one will be 13. So your answer will be e 16 minus e power 13 divided by 4. Or you can definitely evaluate this and provide answer in terms of decimal, but that is okay as well. Now part B, we have to integrate this one. So first is, how do you integrate cos of x by dx? It is minus sin x. As you can see, so same way, the angle here, you have to write down the same angle. So same thing, that will be minus sine and same angle. Now next step is to divide by the differentiation of the inside of the angle. So divide by 1 over 3. That will be minus 3 sine of x over 3, of course, plus c for your constant of integration. Now for part 2 is, we have to evaluate this. So integration of this, we have to just use the limits. Minus 3 sine x over 3 between pi by 6 and 0. So let's take out the minus 3 first, and we can solve one by one. So first thing is sine of, so x is pi by 6 divided by this, that will be pi divided by 18, and then minus sine of 0 is 0. So let's see, what do we get. So use radians. So sine of the angle, which is pi over 18 times minus 3. That should be minus 0.521. Okay, so I think I made a mistake here, because the integration of cos is not minus x, it is actually plus sine. So plus and plus. Okay, so it should be plus here and plus, and should be plus. I made a mistake because I confused the integration of sine x. When you do this one, you get minus cos x, not this way. This should be plus. Okay, so your answer should be plus 0.521. That is part B. Now let's move on to part C of that question. So we have to integrate this one. So as always, when you see a power of 2, you can always expand the brackets first. So let's do that. Minus 1 plus x power 2. What is that equal to? Minus 2 plus 2 times x minus 1 x plus x squared So these two will be cancelled out. You will have x this plus 2 and plus x squared. Okay, so it means that this replaced by this will be integration of x minus 2 plus 2 plus x power 2 dx. Now we can do it step by step. So first thing, we have to add 1 to the power, become minus 1, then divide by the power, that will be 2x, and then plus 1 to the power divided by 3 plus c. So simplify, you will have minus 1 over x plus 2x plus x cubed over 3 plus c. And that will be your answer for part C of this question. Now let's move on to question number 9. So part 1 is to find the set of values of x for which this is true. So let's see how can we solve this. So first step is to find the critical values of this one. It means that we have to equate this to 0 to find the critical values. Okay, let's do that. So 4x squared is 4x times x. 5 is 5 times 1. So for us to get plus 19, we have to do plus 20 minus 1 to get plus 19. X is equal to 1 over 4. X is equal to minus 5. So using those two critical values, we can find the set of values of x. So your graph here, because this is positive, it will look like this. Okay, the first value here will be minus 5, and this will be 1 over 4. So this is your line 0. Okay, so we need this to be below 0. It has to be below 0. So where is this curve below? It is between those two. So your values of x has to be between minus 5 and 1 over 4. That is your set of values of x for which this is true. Now for part B, express this as this one, complete the squares, right? So let's do that. So first step is to always check what is the coefficient of x squared. It is 1, so we can move to the next step. We can write x squared plus 8x, leave some space, write minus 9. Now next step, we have to write x squared plus 8x plus a number. So what is this number we have to plus? We have to plus this one, 8, divided by 2 square. Now when you add something, you also have to minus the same number. So let's put this one in bracket first. Minus, so when you add something, you have to minus the same number as well. Minus 9. Now simplify this. Here we have x, that will be x. Here we have plus, that will be plus. Here we have 8 divided by 2 is 4, right? 4, bracket, and 2 here, 2. Now minus this one, what is this? So minus 4, sorry, this is 2, not 4. So we have 4 square, that will be minus 16, minus 9. So it should be equal to x plus 4 square minus 25. So that is your answer in this form where we have x plus a square plus b, where a is equal to 4 and b is equal to minus 25. Okay, so use your answer to part 1 to find the greatest value of this. As you can see, this one is a different graph from this one. The only difference is just the minus sign, right? Let's verify. So this is equal to what? 9 minus 8x minus x squared is just minus 1 outside. You will have x squared plus 8x minus 9, which is this one is the same as this one, which is this one. So it is the same as minus 1 x plus 4 square plus 25. Okay, that will be the way we can use this. Now, what is the greatest value of this one? It will be this value right here. So greatest value will be the value in the back. Will be 25. Now, at what value does it occur? So you have to look at this value here. It will be at x plus 4 equal to 0. So x has to be minus 4. So at x equal to minus 4 it occurs. Okay, that will be your answer for part 2. Now let's move on to part 3. So we have to sketch this graph. So how would you sketch that? So always step by step. So let's see where it cuts your axis. So let's verify this. So first step is at the y-axis. As you guys know, the value of x needs to be 0. So you have y is equal to 9. So the first point is 0, 9. Now next step is at your x-axis, the value of y is 0. So you have 9 minus 8x minus x squared is equal to 0. So as you can see, we did this same equation from part 1, which is this one, same values. Sorry, this is this one. So we can definitely use that, or you can just factorize yourself again if you want to. So send everything to one side. You will have x squared plus 8x minus 9 equal to 0. So factorize. You will have x, 9 is 9 times 1. So have to be plus 9 minus 1. X is minus 9, or x is equal to 1. So we have 2 points. The first point is y is 0. So minus 9, 0. Or it can be 1, 0. So let's first mark those points on the graph. So we have minus 9 here, and see we have 1 here. And then we have 0, 9 will be the where it touches the graph. Let's say it's about here, for it to make sense, right? Because we're gonna draw a max curve, has to be like this. Now let's find what is the maximum value. As you can see, as we have seen from this point here, from the part C, it says the maximum value occurs at x minus 4, and the value is 25. So 25 will be above 9, obviously. Should be about, let's say, minus 4 is exactly in between those two. So let's just mark approximately halfway. That should be about here, for example, right? Okay, and it should be 25. Let's say 25 should be above, about here. It doesn't need to be exact because we only have to sketch. Okay, we just need to show that where's the values that we have. Okay, so pretty easy now. So this is the maximum point. We just need to show that the curve goes to this point, sorry, and cuts this one, keep going on, and same thing over here. So make sure that you show properly that it cuts at 9. Okay, so that is enough for your curve. It's only a sketch. Always label your curve y is equal to 9 minus 8x minus x squared, and that will be your answer for part 3. Now let's move on to question number 10. The relationship between experimental values of two variables x and y is given by this equation, where a and b are constants. Now, by transforming the relationship, show that by plotting ln y against x should produce a straight line graph. So now the first thing is, you guys must know by now, how does a straight line equation looks like? You would say it looks like y is equal to mx plus c. This is when y is plotted against x. So in this case, we have to show that by plotting ln y against x. So ln y against x, we have to get something like this. So how can we convert this one? So observe. Here we have y, we have to have ln y. So we take ln on both sides. That's the step number 1. So you get a bx. Now next step is, we can break this down into two parts. You will have ln y. Multiply is just plus, so ln a plus ln b of x. Now, whenever you have power here, you can send power to the beginning. So you have ln y equal to x ln b plus ln a. Now you can write this again as, let's write this down on this side. You will have ln y equal to ln b x plus ln a. So this equation looks a lot like this straight line graph, which is y equal to mx plus c. So this will be your equation relating ln y to x, so ln y against x, will be in this form where this is equal. So ln b will be your gradient and ln a will be your y-intercept. Okay, so by showing this, you get your 2 marks. Now moving on to this one, it says, the diagram shows the results by plotting ln y against x for 7 points. Okay, now we have a line of best fit. Now part 1, by taking readings from the diagram, find the value of a and b. So looking at the equation of our line, we have this ln b x plus ln a. So first step is this one. This one is just your y-intercept. So this is what value? That is 11.4. So basically ln a is equal to 11.4. So the value of a will be exponential 11.4. Let's see what is the value. Of course, you have to give your answer correct to 1 SF. Exponential power 11.4, that should be 89321.72. So now we have to rewrite this down correct to 1 SF. That will be 90,000. Okay, that is your value of A. Now we have to find the value of B. To find B, as you have known, B is the gradient. So now ln B is a gradient of this line. So we just have to choose 2 points on the line to find the gradient. So any point is fine. So let's choose the first point here, which is 0 and 11.4. That's the first point. Then we can choose another one, which is 6. It's not exact, so let's choose 5. This one, 4 and 7.6. So let's find the gradient. M is equal to 7.6 minus 11.4 divided by 4.7 minus 0. That will be minus 0.8085. Now, this is your value of M, which is ln B. You have to find the value of B. B will be exponential of this value. So let's find the value. So exponential of the value 0.445. So that is the value, but we have to write this down correct to 1 SF. That will be 0.500. Correct to 1 SF. So A is this, B is this. Now part 2 is estimate the value of y when x equal to 2.5. So you can just use a graph. Where is 2.5? 2.5 will be right here in between 2 and 3. Find the value of y. So this is the value of, you get 9. 9 is ln y. Okay, so we have an equation that we have formed. So we have ln y is equal to 9. So what is the value of y? Will be exponential 9. That should be 8103. You get 08. You can write this down correct to 1 SF. I think this is a different question. Write down to 3 SF. That should be 8100. Okay, that will be your answer for part 3. And that was question number 5. Sorry, number 10. Now let's move on to question number 11, the last question of the paper. This one is a Venn diagram question. Should be pretty straightforward. Let's see what happens here. So we have the universal set. We have A, B, and C. Okay. Now it says the number of elements of A, B, and C is 48. So everything together is 48. Okay. Next step is A is 30, B is 25, this is 15, 7, and this and this. So part 1 is find the value of x, where x is this one. This is A intersecting B intersecting C. So where is this x? You would say x is in the middle, right? Because it is everywhere intersecting all the sets. So we have to find this value of x. So we have to start to find the values that can help us to find x. So first one is A prime is outside of A intersecting B, which will be this one. So we can write this down again. So what is A? B, C. We can write this down as A prime intersecting C prime intersecting B. We can take prime out. You will have A union C prime intersecting B. So A union C is what? A union C prime will be outside, intersecting B will be this one. So only B is equal to 16. So that's the value we can write. Now next one is the value of n. So that's a B intersecting C. So B and C has to be 6. So this value is 6. This will be 6 minus x. And now this one, A and B. So A and B, which is this one, is 7. So that will be 7 minus x. So here we have this. We can use this to find the value of x. So it is given that the number of elements in B is 25. So all this will be 25. So 7 minus x plus 6 minus x plus 16 is equal to 25. Let's solve this. This one will cancel out. That will be 13 minus x plus 16 is equal to 25. So 13 plus 16 is 29. So minus x plus 29 is 25. So x is 4. Okay, so first value is 4. This is 4. That's the first thing that we know. Now next one is to find the value of y, where y is this one. So where's this set? Let's see. Let's have a drawing here. A, B, and C. So we have A intersecting B prime. A intersecting B prime will be outside of B. Okay, will be this one. Intersecting with C. So that will be A and C, only this. Right? So I hope that makes sense. So A, so let's do this one first. Let's do A intersecting C first. Will be this one. Right? Now intersecting B prime will be outside of B, so it should be only this one. Okay? So we have to find this is your value of y. So let's write this down here to find this value of y. So now since we know the sum of the values, we can rewrite this down. So we have A, B, and C. That is A, B, and C. This is 4. This has to be 2. And this is 3. And this is 16. This is y. We don't know what is this. Let's write this down as, let's write z, and let's write the t. We don't know what are those values, right? So we have to find, first we have to find the value of y. So how would you find this? So we have to form equations that help us to find this value. So let's see what we have remaining here. So we have that the number of elements in C is 15. So all of C will be 15. So let's write down C will be 15. How do you get C? We have y plus 4 plus 2 plus z supposed to give you 15. So z plus y is equal to 9. That is your first equation. Okay. Now next one we can use is this one. Number of elements in A is 30. A is this one. So A is t plus 3 plus 4 plus y is equal to 30. Now simplify. T plus y is equal to 30 minus 7. That should be 23. Okay, and the next equation we can form is using this one. Everything should be 48. So everything together, that will be, we have 25 for B plus these 3. So T plus Y plus C should be 48. So we have T plus Y plus Z should be 23. That is your equation number 3. So using these 3 equations, we can solve to find the value of y. Okay. So to find the value of y, as you can see, what can we use? We can use, so let me first write down the equation first. So we have 3 equations. We have z plus y is 9. Then t plus y is 23. From this, what I can do, I can replace, let's see this last one first. T plus y is equal to, sorry, t plus y plus z is equal to 23. So 3 equations. So let's first do something. You can replace here. Replace this in this. T plus y is 23. 23 plus z is equal to 23. So the first value found is z is equal to 0. Now to find the value of y, we replace z here. Y is equal to 9 minus z, which is equal to 9. So value of y will be 9 from the equations. Okay, so now part 3, hence show that this is 0. So what is this set? As you can see, we can factorize this in. So A union B prime intersecting C. So what does this set represent? So let's find out. That will be A, B, and C. So A union B will be this two. Prime will be outside, so it will be this one. So we have to show that this A is equal to 0. So as you have seen from top here, this was defined as Z, and we found that Z is equal to 0. So as shown in part 2, Z is equal to 0, and so that A prime intersecting B prime should be equal to the empty set. That is your answer for part 3. So that was the last question of this paper. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope that was somewhat helpful. As if you guys have any questions, always leave a comment down below. I will get back to you guys as soon as possible. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and support the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon.